Hi, everyone, and welcome to another great podcast at the Pilots and Drones podcast here at the Drone Champ Studio. I am your host, the coach, Kent Nerhus. That's right, in the house once again to talk some drones. And today we're going to talk about trust test and part 107. Do you need both? Do you need one or the other? Do you plan on making money? Or do you plan on just going out there and flying with your friends? Do you even need a trust test? Do you even need any paperwork to do any of that? Well, we're going to find out today here on the Pilots and Drones podcast. So, once again, let's start from the beginning. In the beginning, right? You got your drone now. You saw our last podcast, FPV versus DJI. You went out and you bought yourself a nice drone. Okay, now you want to fly it. But you can't just go out and fly it, right? Now, there's some rules and regulations that are involved here. The FAA has put out, the Federal Aviation Administration, they have put out what's called a trust test. And what that is it's about a 30-minute test that you take online, free of charge, on the FAA website. You go there, you just Google it, trust test. It'll take you to a trust test provider. You go to their website. You're going to look through some modules, some online audio and video that's going to allow you to understand the rules and regulations that come with flying your drone in the public space and also the national airspace. And once you've completed that, you'll get a piece of paper that is your trust form that you should carry around with you, either electronically or physically. And now you can go fly recreationally. Regardless if you're under 250 grams or not, is it required for you to have a trust test? Yes and no. Should you get it? Yes. If you're flying recreationally, can they pull paperwork on you? Can you get what's called ramp check to check if you have your paperwork? Yes. So recreationally, yes, you should have your trust test. Now, there are certain things where there's education and things like that where you might not exactly need it, but for 99% of the time, you're going to need it to fly recreational. Okay. Whether you're 250 grams below or not, we will go over that in another segment. What 250 grams means, which is half a pound. Now, again, recreational requirements, you have to register it unless you're under 250 grams and you're a recreational flyer. Then you do not have to register it. Should you register your drone? Yes, you should register your drone. It's $5. It lasts 3 years. You register it through the FAA Drone Zone. Do not do any other type of service where they say, "Hey, we'll do this for you. It's going to be $25, $100." We've seen those out there. No, you just do the $5 registration through the FAA Drone Zone. So now you've taken your trust test. Your drone is registered. If you're under 250 grams, it doesn't have to be registered. But again, you went the smart way and you got it registered, right? So now, can you go and fly wherever you want? No, still no, you can't. There's layers to laws and regulations and things like that. But in the FAA's eyes, you are cleared to fly and ready to go as long as you follow the other regulations, correct? So it's so easy to complete because they give you the modules as you go, right? As you're taking this test, it's pretty common sense stuff if that even exists. But you know you don't want to fly around people recklessly. You want to be able to check the before you fly app aloft and things like that, right? So that way you make sure that you're not flying near a power station or something like that, or a police station, and people are going to freak out and things like that. You make sure you want to do everything correctly, so that way you can be legal and you don't have to worry about anything, right? So a lot of common misconceptions are that um, it's going to be hard, or now I'm registered, my name is out there that I'm registered to this drone, and or I'm a drone pilot and things like that. Yes, that's true, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we need to make this uh, industry, how we need to make this thing grow, is by registering numbers, getting out there, being proactive, getting involved in legislation, so that way we can move the legislation the way we want it, right? It's not let's uh, fight the system. You want to massage the system, right? You want to get your own constituents to support somebody that supports what you want, get them in there, and then that way the legal framework can establish itself, and you can have a social structure that fits everybody's needs, and everyone can use space the way it should be used. So, um, but what happens if all of a sudden you're out there flying and you have some people asking you, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent. I would love for you to take a picture of my house. Um, you know, I'll trade you for some tickets to the football game." And there's no money exchange, and because I know you don't have your license, so would you be willing to do that? And you say, yeah, there's no money going on or anything like that, so we can exchange, and it's just a trade, and we're good to go. No, actually, timeout, flags on the field, hold them back, illegal contact beyond the line, 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. You can't do that, right? Because there's compensation involved, right? The the tickets were purchased, and then now you are being compensated for doing your work, taking pictures of the real estate situation. It even goes as far as you volunteering, right? You have a local community group that wants you to take pictures of their event, right? And you're like, hey, I'm going to volunteer. I'll volunteer my drone services for that. No, actually, because the community service is going to end up garnering money from that, either through marketing or whatever it is, even if it is a nonprofit organization, that still counts. So no, you cannot actually receive, or you actually can't trade, because those people are going to use that video for marketing in order to gain more money. No matter what, even if it is a nonprofit, there's people that get paid to manage it and things like that, right? So what do you got to do? You got to get your Part 107. 14 CFR Part 107, the full situation, the congressional, federal rule or regulation, right? In Section 14 and Part 107. That's exactly what the whole thing means, right? So, in Part 107, drones, it falls under a lot of different other aspects under that aviation umbrella. Not only is it Part 107, but you also have Part 91 rules, Part 61 rules, Part 101 rules. There's a lot of different rules. And also, as a recreational flyer, you fall out, and I've covered this in previous podcasts, is you have your Section 44803, which is your recreational flight rules and regulations and things like that, which you have to cover once you get your trust test, right? You got to know all the rules, all the regulations. You got to get clearance if you're within 5 miles of an airport, even if you are recreationally flying. So there's a lot of things that you got to deal with, right? Now, the Part 107 is a certificate, right? It is a pilot's license, a remote pilot certificate. That's what it's called. You're going to get a lot of flack and stuff like that from, Part 61 pilots and Part 91 pilots. Oh, you're not a real pilot. Look, let's just end the debate. It says pilot on the card, right? on your 107, it says pilot. You're a pilot. Let's just come on. Oh, you're not in the aircraft, whatever. Okay. What happens if I get inside a Jetson? And do I need a Part 107 or do I need a Part 91, right? If I'm sitting inside the drone right now with a Jetson drone, which is what you physically sit inside of, what do you need now? Do you need a Part 107 or do you need a Part 91? Obviously, the answer to that question right now is you need a Part 107. So that's the way it goes. And you're a pilot, right? You're a pilot whether you're in it or whether you're out of it. End of discussion. I've been on this thing for the past 10 years since Part 107 has been out, or it'll be the 10-year anniversary come August here. We're in July right now in 2026. But, right, come on, let's just get over that whole situation. It's a 60-question test that you're going to have to pass. You can take a physical tutoring course like here at Drone Champs, where we offer a $200 course. It's 2 days, 4 hours each day. It's a total of 8 hours, and it's a crash course, and we'll get you to pass. We have a very high success rate, and even if you don't pass, you can come on back, and we'll keep tutoring you until you do pass. We guarantee every single person that passes in our situation. We are going to start offering an online course fairly soon here, so stay tuned for that as well. Now, again, it is required that you have a Part 107 to take compensation. So now you've taken the drone champs test. You get through it. You've passed the test. You need a minimum of 70% to pass the test. So out of 60 questions, you're going to need to answer at least 40 of them correctly, and then you're going to be able to pass it and be able to get a temporary certificate, which will last you 120 days. Then you enter IACRA, register your pilot number, and then they will give you back, or you register your temporary license, they will give you your pilot license number back, and then you will be able to enter that into the drone zone. And in 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to get your card, your physical card that will have your name, your address, everything on it, and you'll be able to show anyone who's asked you if you need it that you'll be able to prove that you're legal. So again, trust test, recreational flying only, free to complete, and great for hobbyists. It teaches you the rules, regulations. It's going to give you that confidence in flying, and that's what you need when you're out there, right? Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know if I can fly here or what goes on. The trust test will give you that extra layer of education and protection in order for you to fly with confidence out there in the NAS, the real world. And Part 107 is it's for commercial work. Once you cross that line, this is very distinctive. You need to be going out with your buddies, flying at an RC airfield, or you're going out to the beach, taking videos and pictures that you're going to take home and you're going to put on your wall or on your own personal YouTube. Nothing else. You cannot say, hey, I'm trading this or whatever else. No. Anything else is compensation, period. There is a bit of a loophole, though. For example, if you go out to the beach, you take a picture of the Loch Ness Monster, and everybody wants it, right? And your intention was not to shoot the Loch Ness Monster, right? You were just out there taking videos of the water, right? Now it is technically legal for you to sell that footage, okay? Now, how many times are you going to get struck with luck where you can go out there so many times and all of a sudden you're going to see the Loch Ness Monster or this or that, right? Eventually it's going to get caught on that you're doing this. Your intent is to go out to capture things that's going to give you monetary reward back, correct? So again, the best thing to do, just get legal. Just go out, get your Part 107 and legally fly. Now, can you make money with your Part 107? Now you're getting into the weeds of the whole situation, right? Yes, right? What Part 107 does is it qualifies you to now be able to make money, right? It's not a golden ticket. It's not like, okay, here's a Part 107. Now there's going to be all these people coming at you saying, hey, we want to hire you. Make sure that we just got a notification that you registered your Part 107. We want to hire you every 2 seconds and give you all this money, and here's this pathway to gold and yada yada. No, no, no. It's not going to work like that. Okay, you're going to have to grind just like everybody else does. Now, some people they do. I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here. Some people already have jobs. Like, for example, if you work for a security company and say, hey, if you get your Part 107, we will now upgrade you, right? You're now going to fly the drones. You're going to get paid more, things like that, right? You now upgrade your value. So now you're going to walk on into it. You're going to start making money using drones. Otherwise, you're going to be a business owner, right? You're going to be a small time business owner. You're going to have to go out, get your business registered, insurance, all those kinds of things, which we will cover in another segment. But again, you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to get the hustle on now, right? You're going to have to advertise. How do you advertise? How do you get your name out there? Who's going to give you your first work, right? Things like that. How do you make money? What's the most common sense practices? What's the easiest way to get into it? But that is for another day where we'll go over how to make money with drones. We have gone over it in a few other of our past episodes. So revisit those where we tell you, or I tell you, a little bit secret to the sauce of how to get started with your first sale when you're out there as an entrepreneur. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to have some hot takes. This is what the segment schedule is asking. Should every drone pilot earn a Part 107 certificate? In my opinion, yes. It's just like a car. Get your license. It gives you the opportunity to make money just in case, but it also educates you on the whole system, right? It lets you know what to do, how to do it, how to get it done, and how to legally operate within the framework, whether you're commercially making money or not. And also, too, a lot of the time, even with local law enforcement or something, if you say you have your Part 107, it definitely, lowers the tension if there is any. Is the trust test enough preparation for new pilots? Honestly, not. No, it's not. But it's going to give you a good basis. It's going to let you know what it is that you need to do out there, and that you need to ask questions, and that you need to go through the proper procedures, because this whole situation is linear. It's not like, oh, well, I think I should be able to fly over there because I see some airplanes over there or something like that, right? No, you have to apply, get accepted, move forward. Lock or key, lock, gate, open, get the key, unlock the lock, open the gate. That's how it works. And then you might find another gate. You need to apply for another key because the lock has a certain code, right? That's what you have to do through the FAA in the drone zone. And that's going to be your best friend. Remember, the FAA, they're not the police. I have built my career off of asking the FAA questions. Remember that. You can always call them and ask questions. There's no problem with that. If you haven't done it yet, you haven't acted illegally yet, right? So if you say, hey, this is what I want to do, they will guide you through the framework to get it done. Okay? It's not, they're an administrative body. They do regulate fines and things like that, but they're actually not an enforcement body. That's why there's review and things like that. That's why you don't have 50,000 FAA agents all over the place and looking for drones and all that kind of stuff. They're very reactionary, and that allows for growth and innovation and things like that. It allows to say, hey, maybe these guys or these pilots over here have been doing this for a while. Maybe we should allow that, or we should investigate it to see what it is that they're doing correct in order for us to meet them in the middle, right? They don't want to stifle innovation. They want it to grow. It's just got to be done legally, right? Where I'm at here in Southern California, I got 33 million people around me, right? That my drone could essentially affect millions of people if I take out a power line or something like that. And we're talking about people who have medical devices, things like that. Now, I know they have backup and stuff like that, but there's other things that can make it inconvenient for their lives, such as air conditioning and things like that. So again, just we want it to be all legal and want everything to go correct, right? That's just the way it works, especially with drones and the way it is with the way they're looked at the moment, things like that. Um, are there too many people flying without understanding the rules? Yes, absolutely. There's so many people out there that are flying that don't understand the rules. There are people out there that are flying who do understand the rules and they're still bending and going on that fine line or just straight up breaking them and then they're getting fined and things like that. That's what you want to try to avoid as a new pilot. Should Part 107 training include more hands-on flight instruction? Yes, absolutely. I believe there should be. I mean, it's a little tough, right? But there should be at least 4 hours. I would say you should at least have 4 hours, at least on a simulator, some sort of simulator to begin with. But there should be actual physical flying because then that way you can go through an instructor, someone can check you off, things like that. Also would provide employment, right? It would provide employment for people out there starting businesses. You'd have to go through them. Okay, say it's somewhat cheap, right? There's got to be a guide. That's how humans generally work. That's how traditional aviation works, right? You have to fly, go through check rides, things like that. It should be the same way with drones, but definitely at a lower level. Not having it has proven that you can operate without having these sort of check rides and things like that. But it is a good idea to have it because then that way people who are out there, there's someone who physically tells them, hey, this is what's going on, this is how it should be done. And then that way also too, if there is a mistake, someone can go back to that instructor or to that flight school and say, hey, you guys are telling me this and this is what I learned and this is how it should propagate, right? There should be these nodes of information, educational spaces. Now, colleges are trying to take those on, but again, it's slow. It can get expensive in certain cases. And a lot of the times, people who do drones, they just want one small segment. Say, for example, they want to learn to fly drones, or maybe they just want to educate themselves on cinematography or agriculture or something of that nature, right? So again, having a physical flight test, just like anything else, driving a car or something like that, I think it should be required. Yeah, absolutely. Is drone education more important than buying expensive equipment? Absolutely. As you've seen in our previous segments on these episodes of the podcast, start small, right? Start cheap, start small, start with a simulator, start by asking questions because you don't want to run into this thing and go all the way into it and say, oh my God, this is awesome. And boom, you crash right into a tree. Now you got to get yourself a repair down at the Drone Champs, broken arms, things like that. And now it's going to cost you some extra money that would have been cheaper if you would have just asked or taken a class or educational segment situation course when it comes to flying the drone. So again, that way you avoid messing up the expensive equipment. Okay, which one is right for you? Recreational or commercial? Again, that is up to you. What do you want to do? If you just out there flying, want to take some pictures, recreational is good. Guarantee you somebody's going to ask you if you can do some commercial work for them. Absolutely. Now, the Part 107 side, you're into the business, you're into making money, right? Even if you're into that, which we've gone over in our previous segments, you don't even need money to start a drone business. You could be a broker, repair person, something like that, right? So just figuring out what's right for you, that's what Drone Champs and this podcast is about, is to educate you on what decision you should make, help you along the way, right? Be your guiding light, the shepherd to your flock. I don't know, that whatever, right? So that's what we're here for. We're here to help you get started and guide you every step of the way in your journey, and also be a reference to come back. And hey, maybe you might hire us for some jobs in the future, or something like that too, right? So that's what this is all about. That's what this node situation is all about. And again, if you're going to get into commercial work, you want to make sure that you have your drone license and proper insurance and legalities all squared away. And we have covered that in some of the other past episodes, but we will be covering that thoroughly in some of the up and coming ones. So again, if you're looking to make some money and start the drone business, stick with us, because we have been in the drone industry for a very, very long time as far as it comes to drones, commercial drones. Now, don't get me wrong. You get Lockheed Martin out there, you got Predator drones, all these guys. These guys have been doing stuff since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, stuff like that. But as far as commercial modernization of drones in a commercial space, non-military, you're looking at 2014 and above, right? That's kind of when things really started spiking and things like that. So again, be sure to click subscribe. I'm supposed to say that. Look at our other episodes. Visit our website, pilotsandDronesProductions.com. Book a National Drone League flight or demonstration. Book a repair. Book a class. Because again, we're here to just help you out. But once again, we're always here to see you on the next podcast.